Well, they did it. They did it. They really did it, Matt Kassian. The Oilers have set a franchise record, their 10th consecutive victory in a row, and they do it in overtime, 2-1 over the Montreal Canadiens on Connor McDavid's 27th birthday. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Oil Street Postgame Show. Tom Gazzola and Matt Kassian, live on location at the Shamrock Curling Club, where the Oilers alumni bonspiel is going strong right now. Big roar up here as the teams are all enjoying dinner and getting ready for the semifinals coming up. Cass, good vibes up here. Very happy about the result on the ice, and the Oilers now have 10 wins in a row. What did you see in OT, pal?
Well, they shot the puck on
Finally.
the power play. Finally. After and even right before that, it was I think one of the more discombobulated games that we've seen on the power play. Yeah, they weren't very good on the power play today. But you see them get an opportunity at the end of the game, and I was like, okay, maybe now it's gonna click. Doesn't click. Draw another call in overtime, and it is like, okay, well now, even statistically, it's like, okay, statistically they're due. This is their time.
Go get it.
And couple miscues early on the penalty kill, and finally, and I told you right before that, I'm like, they need to get the puck to Bush and just let him shoot it.
That's exactly what you said.
Exactly what I said. And he does. The puck goes in.
My team, the Sheet Disturbers, off to the semifinal. Carrie, Michelle, Jamie, and Steve were very excited when you came and sat down with us, and they looked at you after you said, just give it to Bouchard so he can shoot it. And when he did finally and he scored, they were just like, oh my God.
Genius.
You called it.
Genius.
He called it.
Well, I mean, when your power play is not working, you go back to the simple things.
Right.
And they didn't. I mean, everything was through the middle. Everything was forced through the middle. Trying to go through the box, trying for the perfect play, and it just wasn't working.
No.
And when that happens, it's like, okay, you want to open up the box. You want to try to create when things aren't going your way on the power play. Get it to your guy that's got a great shot and let him rip it. And they finally, the last power play at the end of the third, just the last couple seconds of the game, they finally give it to Bouchard, and he has a couple, and I'm like, okay, well that's how you open it up. And took him a little bit again on the 4-on-3 in overtime, but eventually you do. And hey, now we got a 10-game win streak, franchise record.
40, close to 45 years of NHL hockey in Edmonton. They finally have a 10-game winning streak. Join the conversation as always. Hit us up 780-218-9999, and then the nasty chat. Do what you do best, nasty chat, as you celebrate this Oilers victory 2-1 in OT over the Montreal Canadiens. YouTube Trev holding things down back at EST HQ, and he is super excited. We'll touch base with him soon. Let's go through the scoring summary as well as the game stats from this one as we break it all down. In the first period, Cole Caulfield on the power play from Nick Suzuki and Mike Matheson. And this was something that you pointed out, Cass, to us in the group chat. You're like, what was Derek Ryan doing? You're talking about forcing things through the middle on the power play that the Oilers were trying to do. And then on the flip side of this, in this instance, it was the Oilers giving the middle away.
Giving the middle up. Yeah, Derek Ryan, I don't know what he was doing from a stick standpoint. I mean, it's a lack of awareness of where the player is on the weak side as that soft side forward. Your job is to take away that lane so you can't go through the box.
Right.
And for whatever reason, his stick was topside the entire time. Doesn't shoulder check, doesn't look, and tries to do this little kneel down block sort of thing to stop the pass.
When it was too late.
When it was already too late. I mean, the puck's by you. It was a great read. I think it was by Matheson Suzuki rather.
Suzuki.
Sorry,
Matheson had the first pass.
Had the first pass. Suzuki on the cross ice. So great read by him to go off of Derek Ryan's heels. Which what is Stewart's gonna do in that instance? Not much he can do. And that's the play that Edmonton was looking for.
Correct.
But Montreal did a good job of closing that box up and not allowing Edmonton to do it. In that instance for the Montreal Canadiens, they get that first goal, and pretty early in the hockey game, which kind of set the tone really for the first period and a little bit for the Oilers.
That goal came a minute 43 in. second period, and I think was it a carryover from the first period? It was just kind of ho hum.
Yeah.
Is that a fair way to describe it?
It was quiet. It was
Yeah.
quiet. I would describe the first 2 games as like boring in a lot of ways.
Sure.
Like it was quiet perimeter hockey, like not a lot going on. Stuart Skinner, I thought was playing fairly well for Edmonton. He opened up a little bit in the third, got a little bit more exciting in the third, a little bit more stuff happened.
I thought the third was really exciting. Actually,
third was really exciting.
A lot of entertaining plays there.
Yeah. First 2 a little bit quiet. It was a quiet night for the Edmonton Oilers. I don't think quite. It wasn't like they played as poorly as they did in Chicago, but they weren't as assertive tonight, I thought. And I know they get a ton of shots.
Yes,
but a lot again from the perimeter,
just throwing pucks,
kind of throwing pucks,
hope shots, kind of thing.
Yeah. But hey, you just won 10 in a row, so
I don't know how much we want to nitpick, but we'll discuss it for sure. Get in on that if you have some thoughts on how the Oilers played the first 2 periods. We want to hear from you, 780-218-9999. Then in the nasty chat as well, Gazzola and Kassian live on location at the Shamrock Curling Club. It is the Oilers alumni bond spiel. So we went through the scoring in the first period. It was Caulfield, his 12th on the power play from Suzuki and Matheson. No scoring in the second. In the third period, 38 seconds in, Leon Draisaitl goes to the net, bangs home some garbage after Warren Foegele makes a strong play from behind the net. And this all emanated off the faceoff too, Cass. And it was Evander Kane who had to take the faceoff. He picks up his 11th of his assist of the season on the equalizer there. And this one ended up getting reviewed because as Foegele was cutting through the crease, Montembeault, I thought he just flung his stick on his own without Foegele knocking it anywhere. And Draisaitl just bangs home the puck as the pad was sitting on the post. So I think they got the call right. No issue there whatsoever on that one.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a Montreal fan, you're going to be, I think there's still enough there that for Montreal fans are going to be like,
he covered it. He took his stick out.
He took his stick out. I think still, but I mean, it was a close one. For instances like that, like with goaltender reviews, I would way rather have that be a goal than not be a goal, regardless if it's Edmonton or not. Whatever team. So, I mean, I liked it. I did think it was the right call.
Same.
Did think it was the right call. I mean, fortunately, it does go in the Oilers' direction on that, and would have been nice if they could have scored on the power play. And
they did not.
Power play was very good after that.
No, they did not score on that power play. You're right. Until the overtime session. We have 3 former Oiler goalies here that could probably chime in, and maybe they'll complain. I see 2 of them sitting together right there.
Or
is that Gager? No, Gager's moved on.
No, that's not Gager.
Well, Ben's right there. And then JDD's here. Joaquin's here. Good smattering of Oilers alumni. I got a chance to see Mark Fistrick earlier, my old teammate from back in our
my old teammate too.
MLAC days. You played with him in Vancouver, right? Yeah. Great guy. Mark, firefighter in our city now. Okay, and then let's get to overtime. Evan Bouchard on that power play. His 10th of the year from McDavid and Draisaitl. McDavid moving past Glenn Anderson for 4th all-time in the Oilers goal-scoring list, point list. And that one coming at 2:01. And then they finally simplified. No trying to force. Well, they did kind of try to force pucks
right before.
Yeah.
Until they scored. They tried to do it too complex until they didn't. And they went to no, actually, let's just shoot the puck.
It worked.
It worked.
Finally, I was going to say. Shots on goal, 41-24 in favor of Edmonton. Face-off percentage, the Habs get the better of the Oil, 53.1% to 46.9. Power play goes 1 for 5 for Edmonton. They get it when it counts. The PK, 3 for 4. Hits 15-11 officially in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. Block shots, 24 for the Habs, 10 for the Oilers. Giveaways, according to the off-ice officials, 15 for Edmonton to 9 for Montreal. Takeaways, 6 for the Oilers and 3 for the Montreal Canadiens. Edmonton, a 10th straight victory, a franchise record, wrapping up this 3-game road trip, a perfect 3-0. Let's get to some comments, and let's bring in YouTube Trev. Trev, can you put yourself on camera? Do you want, or is it, you could do that if you want.
Yeah, I can do that. Give me like 30 seconds.
I'll give you 30 seconds. Let's get to some text, and then we're going to get to YouTube Trev as well. Displaced Yukoner says, so loving the Boo Birds. Every time 97 had the puck makes me smile. That was a penalty. When McDavid got pulled down. Were they booing because he drew the penalties, or were they booing him just for the sake of booing him?
I think a
Montreal?
little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe even too from the comment. I wonder if part of it was from the pregame comment on, you don't like it's not that loud.
Oh yeah.
Like that comment. I kind of wondered
that,
if
that building is loud.
That building is loud, but you can't. I mean, really, most buildings you still can hear the guys on the ice, which I understand what McDavid was saying. But I do wonder if part of why they were booing him was
They got offended.
No,
not Montreal Canadiens fans
No,
getting
never.
offended. No other Canadian fan base gets offended.
Never.
It was also funny. We're talking with the Sheet Disturbers, who are on sheet number 2 right now. I see we're getting ready. We're coming out of the hack here. Steve's up. He's got his Hemsky jersey on. Jamie's wearing his McDavid orange, the good orange jersey, and then Michelle and Carrie are leading the charge. They are the leaders of our team. I got 1 point for our team. I'm not a curler, and they were more than gracious with me as our team looks to get a win in the semifinal. Anyway, when you were like talking about Montreal, Jamie said he had gone to a game, and you're like, I said, hey, Cass got a couple of goals in Montreal. That is a crazy hockey market.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, they were on top of me. I bet they were offended, and I bet they were put off by the McDavid going
which
down.
Is great. But I love it. I love it. And even it's like you can just hear, like, if you're listening to the game, like it's noisier than most hockey rinks. So it's to me it's absolutely fun. Like I love it, and then I hope McDavid loves it too. Like to me that's great. Like it makes it so much more entertaining.
Ultimate heel.
Oh yeah,
Ultimate
it's the
heel.
best.
All right. Here's one from Chris via the text line 780-218-9999. Says, what do you think about the Oilers breaking teams where the opposing goalie just about stole the game? Have the Oilers found a 60-minute game to close out any opponent? Cass, what would you say to Chris?
I would say they've found they have found ways to win. They have found or refound the ability to find ways to win in games where normally they might not. In games where they normally might not, or earlier in the season, at the start of the season, they definitely, if they definitely were losing, are they breaking teams? I don't know. Would you say they got close to getting goalie this game? Because I don't see that. I don't think they made it challenging. Like I think they, I think for the most part, everything was perimeter. They didn't generate that many opportunities, and it was more about that than them breaking the Montreal Canadiens.
I agree with that. Get YouTube Trev on here, and Andy Devlin is. There he is. Yeah, he says perfect. Quinn, get out of the way. Quinn Phillips, the commissioner, is bartending. Come on in, Quinn. Come here quickly. Come say hi. We have Quinn Phillips here on location. Here, there. Come over. No, come in the middle here. There she is. Come in the middle. All right. Oilers break a franchise record. Did you get a chance to watch any of that game? Are you breaking stuff? The commission.
Smashing everything.
Yeah.
Okay, she's in.
She's in. Okay, yeah.
Okay. What do you want me to
Did you
talk
watch
about?
the game?
I watched part of the third. Unfortunately, it was actually, well, not unfortunately, it's been quite busy up here.
It has been busy. You're very popular when you're bartending.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
I do get recognized a lot here as well, and there's a lot of great alumni to see tonight.
Yes.
So that's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
All right, Commish.
Yeah.
You didn't watch the game.
I didn't watch much of the game. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm just not as good at BSing about it.
Okay.
As you guys are.
Well,
commissioner has to be a straight shooter. Right? You just gotta.
Well, how do you feel about them winning 10 in a row? They've never done that before.
Obviously, very pleased. You know, I have to be honest. When Montreal went up 1-0, and they just didn't have much in the first period, I was worried because I know we talked about it. You were much more positive than me before the game. So I had a pretty bad feeling, and then I think Montreal hit a post or something, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. But of course, you know, also Connor's birthday. So you have to think that there was always some kind of magic in the air. I just go back to Vegas on his 21st birthday, and
I was there. Were you
I'll
there?
never forget it. I was not there, but I'll never forget Darnell Nurse or Zach Kassian's face.
Yeah.
When he
Nurse scored the winner that night.
But Zach's face, was that the one where he was like, ah?
I believe so.
It was pretty wild. After. So I mean, there's something magical about January 13th.
It's a good
day. Montreal.
27 years later.
It's a good day.
Yeah.
I suppose. All right. I think you have some customers that want you. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I better go.
That's the commission. Quinn Phillips popping in to discuss the Oilers' 10th straight victory. Good stuff from Quinn. Keep that 6 o'clocker logger flowing because they have it on tap here at the Shamrock Curling Club. All right, let's get to some more text casts. Great to have the commission on. Trev, you want to put yourself back on? Get yourself on there again. Where are you at? There you are. All right. He's got a 6 o'clock.
Oh, there
He's
you go.
Cracked it. All right, your thoughts, pal, because I know you were very excited about how things unfolded in Montreal tonight.
Yeah, first off, I wish the Oilers could play the Canadiens like way more than they do. Like the atmosphere in that game, I forgot just how insane it gets, and it was lights out. It makes the game so much more enjoyable as a fan. It gets you off your seat. So yeah, that was super sweet. There was a lot to like in the third period. It was just back and forth, back and forth. I love that as well. Like you said, there wasn't a whole lot in the first two periods, but yeah, I mean, this is history. I was telling the boys before the show. I'm gonna be telling my kids this, and we all should be. This is literally history. We watched it tonight. That's 10 straight wins in a row. They never done it before. Yeah, I'm pumped. This is awesome. Yeah, I don't know really what else to say. It was great. The Bush bomb. Oh yeah, you guys talked about the power play. It was very stagnant. It was perimeter pretty well. The whole, I think they had 5, and it was tough to watch. Kudos to the Canadiens for doing that. Like that was impressive. But yeah, it was nice to see them just shoot the puck, and they finally did. Bouchard, his second post of the night, and it went bar down. So it was solid. I wasn't really too keen on Kane and Draisaitl. They had a little bit of chemistry last year to finish the year off, and I don't know. It's tapered off. They weren't really clicking. But Draisaitl,
the equalizer.
Yeah, Draisaitl, yeah, that was nice for sure. Yeah, I'm so pumped right now. I really am. It was a solid dub, and they got it done in OT. It's 10 straight, baby. Let's go.
There you go. He's enjoying a 6 o'clocker. There is YouTube Trev doing his thing back at the EST HQ. All right, let's go into the inbox, see what's coming in right now. 780-218-9999 if you want to text us. Cass and Gazzola live on location at the Shamrock Curling Club. It is the Oilers alumni bonspiel. Stamp Hater says the Oilers have allowed 17 goals in the 10-game streak. Amazing how different a team looks when their goalie stops the puck. So, I mean, I know Stamp Haters brought this up. We've talked about it a little bit. They're getting goaltending, but they're getting better defensive play from the 5-man unit in front of them. It just seems to be clicking. And I don't know, when you start getting ready to prepare and the meetings start to happen in hockey ops for the stretch drive, I feel, Cass, and if I'm off, tell me, listeners, viewers, if I'm off, tell me, I feel like the priority, urgency, and need to go and chase a 1B, if there's even one out there, has dropped below getting depth at D and then adding to the forward unit, maybe a center, third line center. I know people have been texting in about Sean Monahan or finding another winger. Where do you see all of this with the way Skinner and Pickard have been playing?
Yeah, well, hey, I've taken some abuse from some of our texters and some of our listeners, for which, hey, you're entitled to your opinion.
Always,
so that's fine.
yeah, of course.
On the goaltending on the year, and I have said from the beginning of the year, I don't think this has been a goaltending issue all year long. I don't think it's been a goaltending issue. Now, one of the differences, it wasn't helping. The goaltending wasn't helping.
No, it was not
at the start of the year, and it's helping now. They are getting some of the saves that they need. But even if we look at the goal that Montreal scored tonight, I mean, it's Stuart Skinner has no chance.
Right.
There's no chance on that.
Yeah.
And that is the type of goal that when they struggled and when they lose, they're giving up those chances way more often than they have been. So I think it's a combination of, yes, the goaltending, and Stuart Skinner is playing with some more confidence, but also, as you said, the defensive play around him has improved dramatically.
Yeah.
It's improved dramatically. The execution in the defensive zone has improved dramatically. And if you get those things going, and they're tied together, they are intrinsically tied together, where if you're able to help your goaltender out a little bit, well, yeah, they're going to start to feel confident.
Sure. Yeah.
And maybe start to make some of those saves. And it's a give and take between that. And hey, I don't think that they are rushing out to do anything on the goaltending. As you said, I think depth forward, absolutely.
Yes.
I would be shocked if they were not deep in that Monahan conversation, just with the dollar value of his contract, where you might be able to make it work. And maybe you're looking at a depth defenseman on that right side potentially as well. But yeah, I don't think you're rushing out to trade the farm for a goaltender at this point.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be Jake Allen and that's your sexiest option, I would cordially pass.
No.
If I was a general manager, but I am not one, and that thankfully so, although I wouldn't mind the paycheck, that's for sure. Speaking of depth defenseman, Phil Kemp played in his first game. He did played 2 minutes, Cass. Like a nice touch. They go 11-7. They go heavy on McDavid, Draisaitl, the big dogs. They have to run them. But you were talking to our team, the Sheet Disturbers here at the Shamrock Curling Club, about how special it is to play in Montreal. For Phil Kemp, who was on this trip as a reward for being a longtime prospect, playing well down in Bakersfield, getting into this game, even though he wasn't expected to play on this trip, even though it was 2:03 in time on ice, how is he going to remember it, do you think?
Hey, you played
You're
in
an
Montreal.
Yeah.
In an NHL game.
Yeah.
And no one, it doesn't matter if it was 2 minutes, doesn't matter if it was 1 minute, doesn't matter if it was one shift. No one can ever take that away from him.
No.
So it's a pretty amazing thing. So yes, great reward for him. I'm sure, if it was the type of game where Edmonton was up a couple goals, he would have had much more opportunity. But in a tight game, in a game where they're chasing for a good portion of it, and behind, well, yeah, he's not going to get that time.
2:03 for Phil Kemp, playing in his first NHL game, longtime Oiler prospect and farmhand. Nice to see him get rewarded. 780-218-9999 or the Nasty Chat. I'm going to look at the Nasty Chat right away here. I want to get to this one from Al. Al says, welcome back, Cass. I'm glad you're healthy. That is great news. Quick question for you boys. This power play is beyond infuriating. I cannot figure out why 97-29 can only pass to each other on the power play. Where did all the creativity from the last couple of years go? It's like 97-29 are trying to overcompensate by not playing with each other. How many lookoffs of Bouchard? It was ridiculous. Launched the point shots to open it up down low. That's from Al, and that's how they ended up getting that goal. But to Al's point, he went in there, like, is it just McDavid and Draisaitl, and they, whenever it's convenient to them, maybe they pass Nugent Hopkins and Bouchard? Like, how do you look at this?
Bouchard was deferring as well. I mean, there was a couple opportunities for him to shoot, and he was passing it as well. I mean, they were looking for that pretty play, and for players that are really highly skilled, that's the draw, and the tendency is, because they're really highly skilled and they're able to do some unbelievable, amazing things at times. When things aren't working, it's to try to force it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can make this play. Well, I can get this through. Well, I can make this happen, because they've done it so many times, and they have the capacity to do it. When the reality is that even for really skilled players on the power play, when things aren't working, you have to simplify.
Right.
And when you simplify, then, as Al mentioned, those plays down low start opening up a little bit more. The box gets stretched out a little bit, because they have to start to respect that shot. So, I mean, I've been on teams where the talk always was, well, the first play we're going to run on the power play is to get a point shot. Like, where that's the whole objective. Get it through, try to open it up a little bit, force them to respect what we're trying to do with that. And at times, this group, when they're not playing as well as they or we would like them to, that's what ends up happening.
Yeah. They did make it happen, and they did finally simplify and take the point shot, and Bouchard gets the winner in overtime on the power play to give the Oilers the 10th straight victory. First time in franchise history the club or a team in orange and blue has managed to do that. 780-218-9999. Penner's Pancake says, holy, cannot believe 1 point behind LA. Wow. And I'm going to click into the standings in the NHL cast, and we'll take a look. Obviously, 16 games tonight. Everybody's playing. LA's in action, obviously, too. And the Oilers are holding down wild card spot 1 with 47 points now. You got that big 10-game winning streak, a perfect 10-0. It's nice to see on the stat line on the standings. And then Nashville also at 47 points through 42 games. Edmonton has played 39. So you're looking at the LA Kings. They're 2-4-4 in their last 10. 48 points. They've also played 39 games. I'm looking at the out-of-town scores. They drop a game in regulation tonight in Detroit. What the heck's going on? I'm not watching a ton of LA Kings games. We saw them play the Oilers week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Whoa.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I don't know. No, did not see that coming.
No. Yeah. They're supposed to be the staunch, stubborn, system-oriented team, and it isn't happening right now. So the Kings, another loss as they drop one by a score of 5-3 in Detroit. Just some other out-of-town scores to point out for you. Washington gets the better of the Rangers 3-2. The Canucks with the 1-0 win in Buffalo. Ottawa 5-4 at home over San Jose. The Devils 4-1 winners over the Florida Panthers. Like we mentioned, the Detroit Red Wings 5, the LA Kings 3. Colorado 5-3 winners in Toronto. The Hurricanes beat the Pens 3-2 in OT. 7-4 Seattle over Columbus. that's I'm not saying it's a free spot on the bingo card, but it's pretty damn close when you're playing the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're talking about trading Merzlikins, this
Well,
and that.
he's been their third string goalie right now.
I know, but he says he doesn't want to go somewhere to be a backup. Like, how do you even say that?
I don't know.
Anyway, I mean, no, not an option. I would say to Oiler fans. Well, what about Merzlikins?
No. Well, dollar value.
Yeah.
You decide. I mean, you couldn't.
Yeah.
You couldn't.
Yeah, I grimaced when I even said that out loud. Tampa 5-1 winners over Anaheim. Philly 2-0 over Winnipeg. That's a bit of a shocker. Winnipeg's been cruising along quite nicely lately. 1-1 Nashville and the Islanders in the third period. 3 minutes left there. Chicago and Dallas tied at 1. 7 minutes left in the third. You've got Arizona absolutely dummying the Minnesota Wild. 6-0. 10 minutes remaining in the third period. Boston 3-2 in the third. 5 minutes left there in St. Louis. And then no score 10 minutes in between the Golden Knights and the Calgary Flames at the Saddle Dome. 780-218-9999. You want to say something about the Phil Kemp minutes really quickly? Just a note to those that didn't get a chance to watch the game or didn't catch him out there. Trev?
Yeah, so it wasn't really interesting. Obviously, he's been known his whole career. He's been a defenseman, but all of his shifts were on the fourth line as a right winger today. And I don't know. I just want to know your thoughts. Have you ever seen that? Like, was that like? It was just so weird to me.
I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah.
Where they'll throw a defenseman up there. I mean.
This isn't Brent Burns we're talking about here.
No, they don't usually know what they're doing. But,
right.
But at times they'll throw a guy up there and let him have a few minutes.
Yeah.
I have seen it before. Yep.
Yeah, right on.
He's an NHLer now officially. So that's a good point, though, just to those. Maybe we got something to Phil Kemp. I think that kind of sums it up. Like, it's a reward, basically.
It's a reward. You're giving a guy a cookie for a job well done, for sticking with it, for being a good soldier. You're giving him an opportunity. And again, something that no one now can ever take away from him.
He's an NHL player, that's for sure. Andy Pandy Texan says the best news about this streak is that at times the Oilers have played their B or even C+ games, played against hot goalies, and players have been fighting the puck like tonight. Nuge and Kane at times, and we still found a way to win. Now, I like what Andy Pandy brings up and the theme and the topic of them not playing their best game, because before you came back from your illness, Joaquin was talking about, he's like, there's some little tendencies I'm seeing in this team's game that I don't really like. And we were talking about the Chicago game, and he pointed out Nurse with the slide. It led to the Jason Dickinson goal. There were some little things here and there. Even when he came in on during the weekend or leading into the weekend, he was saying, like, you see some little things in the Detroit game, maybe a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Do you see the overall structure of the way this team's playing? Is there some slippage? Is there some bad habits starting to creep in? What are you seeing, guys?
I would say there has been some slippage against some of these teams. I think we saw it against Chicago, would have been the best example of it. Maybe a little bit today from a perimeter standpoint of not always asserting themselves offensively. At the same time, they've won 10 games in a row.
Correct.
And you're not going to play your best game every single night. And so for me to sit and say, there's a lot of really bad habits and I'm concerned, I can't say that, because they have found ways to win. And it is the sign of a good team and a sign of a great team of, even when you don't have your best game, even when things aren't clicking, even when, you're reverting to some of the things that, or habits that you have that when you're not playing well, usually start to come into your game, which I think the perimeter play is something that the Oilers do when they're not playing well. You're still finding ways to win. Now, some of these wins have been against teams that aren't world beaters.
No, but not by any means.
No, but I mean, still NHL teams and still teams that if you give them the opportunity, they're going to beat you. So I don't know, maybe I'm not quite at the same level of Gager as far as concern goes. Now, if they were to lose 1, lose 2, lose 3, and they lost them all in the exact same fashion, then I'd go, okay, there's some habits that they need to work through here and that they have to figure out. But for now, I mean, Tommy, 10 games in a row. 10 games in a row.
Never happened before. Yeah. Never happened before. This team's been in the NHL since 1979, where we just crossed the calendar into 2024, and they finally have their 10-game winning streak. Gazzola and Kassian live on location at the Shamrock Curling Club as the Oilers win 2-1 in OT over the Montreal Canadiens on McDavid's 27th birthday. He passes Glenn Anderson to go into 4th place on the all-time Oilers point list, and now he's going to have to hunt down Mark Messier, Yari Curry, and Wayne Gretzky. I think eventually he gets there. All right. MGD Oil fan says, when do you think the Oil lose? Well, I mean, they're playing really well. They're about to play a Leafs team that whenever the Leafs come to Edmonton, it's almost like a quasi home game for Toronto. It's just the way it is. Same with when the Habs come to town. The Leafs have given the Oilers fits, Cass. They really have.
And they're a good team.
They're a good team.
Yep.
The goaltending situation needs to be sorted out, obviously. I mean, they just Jack Campbelled Ilya Samsonov, and they brought him back up. So I don't know where that goes, but they're riding Martin Jones and Joe Wall's in the mix too. It's just like, okay, like what are they? But I'm looking at that game on Thursday, and I'm going, you better be on it, and there can't be any bad habits creeping in. Regardless of what happens on Tuesday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like if you were Chris Knobloch, what would you be saying to the team? Yeah, 10 in a row. But you got the Leafs on Tuesday and then the Kraken on Thursday.
Yeah, you got to make it 11. Got to make it 12.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's and really, I don't think they're looking for as exciting as it is for them to set that record. I think they're really trying, as they should be trying, to have that mentality of just game by game. If it doesn't matter. We don't want to look at the streak. We don't want to look at the record. We just want to worry about our next game. Worry about your next shift. Worry about just making sure that you're doing things the right way. And that's going to be the message. Is great job. 10 wins in a row. It's a record. Great. You're part of history now. But let's keep being a part of history. Why be satisfied with 10? Like let's go for 11. Let's go for 12. And
those sound nice.
Yeah, two big challenges. I mean, Toronto, I think a team that offensively at times has done quite well against Edmonton and is a good team. And you mentioned the goaltending problems, but they are a good hockey team. And then the Seattle Kraken, who are, along with Edmonton, one of the hottest teams in the league right now, where they're finding ways to win all kinds of hockey games and play an incredibly structured, deep game. And you have to find ways to be consistent.
They've won 9 in a row.
9 in a row.
9-0-1 with you. Yep, exactly. There was a text in the nasty chat that I saw from some stranger who says it's a concern because up against a good team, you won't win. But in this 10-game stretch, Cass, like they've beaten good teams. Like Montreal, they're not a great team. I would tell people that Detroit is a good team.
I think Detroit's a good team.
Chicago, no. Ottawa, no. Philadelphia, who just beat Winnipeg tonight. I think that's a surprisingly decent team this year.
Yep.
You go back into how the streak started in late December. Okay, you smack around Anaheim, sure. Big win against the LA Kings. That was a big game. The Kings weren't in this rut that they are in now. When you played that Saturday game a couple weeks ago, I thought that was a good team at the time.
Yep.
San Jose, they just took care of business. They had that weird 5-day break. Oh, yeah. They beat the New York Rangers in New York at MSG.
In a
back-to-back. And they also beat the New Jersey Devils the night before. 2 come-from-behind victories to kick this 10-game winning streak off. I think those are good. I would call those good teams.
Yeah, and they're not great teams. Not the best teams in the league. I mean, you could
Rangers
argue,
are up there.
Rangers are up there. Yeah, and you could argue that LA, especially at the time, that's kind of the start of their skid.
Mm-hmm.
That they're up there too. So they have beat some good teams. Now, if you played like you played tonight, and you played against Colorado or a Dallas or a New York, you're probably not going to win. Probably not going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, those are teams where you can play a good game and you still might lose. Winnipeg would be another one.
Yes.
Up there as well right now. So, I mean, I again, I don't want to say I'm concerned about it at all, because it's like, well, Tommy, they just won 10 games in a row, and were they against the best teams in the league? Well, no, it wasn't the best teams in the league, but you still won 10 in a row.
Yeah.
And we see when we talk about parity in the league, and just look at the standings, how tight everything is.
Look at the separation between wild card 1 in the East in Tampa, 49 points. And then the Penguins they have sandwiched between Tampa and Pittsburgh, 1, 2, 3,
with games
4.
in hand. Yeah,
yeah,
so
exactly.
It's you got 3 points. You got 6 teams, 3 points separating 6 teams.
Exactly. And you want to throw the Leafs into the mix, they only have 50 points. So you add another point. It's tight. There's a lot of good teams. There is parity. And if you go up against an Avalanche team or a Golden Knights team that's picking things up, they're up 2-0 on Calgary right now, by the way. Thank you for the update in the nasty chat. I saw that. We're not talking about an Oilers win tonight. If that was the opponent and that was the type of game that we saw, not the case. They hang in there in Montreal on a Saturday night, tie it up, get the win. Not the prettiest, but they made it work. 780-218-9999. This one from AZ says the Oilers have finally become the team that can win 2-1 games. With McLeod out of the lineup, they also showed that they can rise to the occasion of basically playing a man down. Getting a third line center or depth forward could be huge for this team leading to deadline. Also, Montreal seems super loud because they don't blast music and play the organ a ton. It's awesome to see. They play a lot of organ over there, but it's it's different.
But it's not.
They do it different.
It feeds into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's like a natural hockey atmosphere in that building.
Yes.
So yes, that building is louder than most buildings in the league.
The organ player, I can't remember her name, but she's like very well known. And I remember I was like walking the catwalk to my seat, and she was playing the anthem. And as she was playing it, I should have been walking, but I was walking. I wanted to quickly get to my seat. And as she was playing the anthem, she just looks at me and smiles and doesn't even miss a beat. And I'm just like, hello, you should be playing this. And she's just like,
talented people.
Bonjour. Yeah, it was hilarious.
I also want to, let's jump on that, adding a depth piece,
yes,
like a third line center. I do completely agree.
You put third line center above seventh defenseman.
Because you have a guy get hurt. You have someone out of the lineup like McLeod out of the lineup. Not that their depth was exposed today. They found a way to win.
Sure.
But it does show you that having an extra body that you can slide in there that can play a significant amount of minutes and contribute is really, really important. So I completely agree on that side of it.
Jeffrey in the nasty chat says, we all know defense wins championships. Hayden says, I'll probably receive a noise complaint from how loud I will cheer when Brown scores. We saw him on that breakaway. I was like, could this be it? No. Did you catch that breakaway yet? Yeah, that was just like, boy.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
That would have been nice. Yeah. Carmen wants to know, KGL 97. Tom, other than Monahan, which other forwards do you think we may be looking at, not including Perry? I don't know. I think
those are probably the two guys at the top of the list. And
I know Monahan is on the list.
I would say that Perry's a secondary option. That it's like you're going to look for something else, and if you can't find something else, that might be what you roll to.
Yeah. Some people think that he might not want to come back to Canada.
It's possible.
Yeah, I've been told that, and I also was told that they'd take a look at Perry if it's possible, but I don't know, Carmen. Especially after a post game, I don't know if I can go into speculation mode and start to throw out names.
Not yet.
That's an Oil Stream afternoon edition to talk about that. There we go. Awesome. The Oilers alumni bonspiel going on right now. I'm looking at.
Can you see the score?
Well, I can see
3-3. It looks like
the sheet disturbers.
4-0.
I mean, it's a busy house right now. We got Carrie and Michelle. They're in charge of our team. And again, I played a little bit today, and I scored 1 point, which to me was a minor miracle. But our team's out there in the semifinal. And
you got another photo, Tom.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like old times. Remember the Ice House days? Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
we are live. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, everyone's hearing all of this.
Yes. Yeah. Nice.
What's your son's name?
Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Sheet Disturbers doing okay. They're playing against like a pro. That's the other thing too. All right, YouTube Trev, what do we have for audio and video? Anything yet?
Nothing yet. Still working on her.
What happened over there? Oh,
we're just talking podcasts and radio.
Oh, podcast, radio,
all the things,
digital stations, all that good stuff.
All the things.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you guys like?
Yep.
We certainly are. But you know what's funny? That I would rather have that than what we used to get, where people would be like, excuse me, do you know where the bathroom is? We're like, hey, do you see this like big sign that says on air?
Yeah.
Remember that? No,
yeah.
Those were the days. Remember game 1 of the playoffs against LA?
We
had Mandy there.
That was nuts.
It was a big fight. Yeah, don't do that. No fighting.
Oh, that fight was something.
That was crazy.
Ooh, boy.
Your juices were flowing.
Oh, I was ready.
You would have taken care of business.
I was ready just make sure we didn't get hit.
Oh boy.
Get us out of there.
Awesome. This one says, gotta love this record streak. Has been at the expense of original 6 teams. Hopefully another win Tuesday versus the Leafs. Jason in Leduc says, Skinner was so good. A big source of pride for this team to do something that even the greatest team of all time, 84-85 Oilers, that was the centennial greatest team, which was voted by hockey fans. I think they had like 5 million votes. Could not do. Grinding out these W's is building character and confidence. The atmosphere at Bell Center was amazing. Very excited about this team. Kane with some soft/weird turnovers in the D zone, though. Skinner bailed out a lot of mistakes tonight. Oilers got a lot of posts. It all evens out in the end. Namaste from Jason in Leduc. This one from JT in LA says, as an original Oilers fan in 1980 and living in downtown Edmonton in 1984 to see the first cup, now living here in Inglewood, California, this is the most fun I have watching the Oilers since 1984. Wow.
There
And
you
in
go.
Inglewood, California.
Inglewood.
Trev, put it on the map. Mark it.
Already on it.
You got it. ESTHQ. We got the massive map of the world, and we're putting all the nasties and the pinning where they're listening and watching from. This text just says, refs were garbage against Connor tonight. He drew the penalty. He drew a couple.
He got booed for it.
He got booed for it. Yeah. Another text says, I would love the standings to finish as is. I'd take Vancouver in round 1 over Vegas and LA any day. And then La Bamba guy texts in, says, why are the audio levels all over? Cass, quiet. Tommy, mid. Trevor, loud. Are we okay?
I thought we were fine.
Trevor, are we okay?
If anything, it's because of my smoking voice.
Yeah, I have you guys as maxed as I can. I know I seen a comment that said Cass was a little low. And then I don't know. I don't know.
I'll eat my microphone a little bit more. So
well, that's okay. Yeah,
helps.
eat the microphone. You know what? Like here, I'll
on the board. Yeah. On the board too. Yeah, just bring it up a little bit.
I brought it up. This
Sweet.
is me working remember the old board, the one that looked like it was from like 1980. This one looks like a spaceship compared to that one.
I just want to hit all the colored buttons.
They're fun.
Yeah, my ADD
I don't know
is
what
just
they
going
do.
crazy. I'm just like, I just want to start smashing stuff on there.
Like these ones
Yeah.
are probably fun. They're probably like play audio sounds and like a horn and like a dog bark or something. But I honestly have no. Belsy and I bought this one to match the one that Dusty bought for the station. I don't know what any of this stuff.
That's
does.
all right. You know what we got to do is we got to get some gauger clips.
Yeah,
and just have them for all those things, so we can just
do
automatic gauger comments or Russian gauger.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about this because Donnie M says, did Monahan destroy the Oil on the face-off dot? And taking a look at Monahan on face-offs tonight, I think he had a pretty good night. He was just under 60%, 59.1. I saw someone say, hey, he's basically showcasing himself for the Oilers. We'll see. Like, he's a coveted piece for the Montreal Canadiens. I'm sure they want to turn him into a pretty decent asset as they honor their agreement to trade him. Did you ever, like, how often did you see something like that where
that's a little different?
Like, hey, we'll trade you
at the deadline.
Give us
signing with
the
team, yeah, and then we'll trade you. No, that's a little bit different.
Yeah, he's got 24 points in 41 games. There he is. Get on here. Are you coming on? Yeah, right here. Joaquin Gage, everybody, come on, get in between us here. Yeah. There we go. We got Joaquin back on here. Yeah. Gager. All right. Oilers get the win. That is 10 in a row. Don't break stuff. And something the franchise has never had before. Just your thoughts on getting to this 10. And you've been on the show while Cass was ill and not feeling good. What do you make of it?
Cool, because I was just talking to one Jason Strudwick about the whole thing. To do something that the 80s teams didn't do, I think it's kind of a feather in the cap. I said it before. I don't want too many of these milestone things. I think the focus should be on something more, but pretty cool. And to do it the way they've done in the last 2 games, overtime, nice.
Have you had a chance? Did you get a chance to watch much of the game? Did you watch the third?
I watched the third, and I was like, this is one of the best games I've ever seen. And then Cass said the first two periods weren't that good. So I was like, really? Because this looks really exciting. So, but
first 2 periods, yeah, a dud, I suppose, and then that third period was actually pretty good.
Struddy was mentioning Bouchard's shot at the end, and he did that a lot of the times. He tried to hit the post and banking off the back of goalies. I don't remember him doing that much. Maybe I'll have to comb some more old Kamloops Blazer.
I thought
tapes.
Struddy was a guy that closed his eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
This was my impression.
Yeah.
I remember Strud scored a goal one time, and we interviewed him in the Scrum post game, And I was like, hey, were you aiming for that post? And he goes, nope, but I was aiming for that net. Because it was like he spun and fired from the blue line.
Oh, that's good. No, it's awesome.
Gager, give us the rundown of the Oilers alumni bonspiel, because it's kind of winding down. My team, the Sheet Disturbers, are on the ice right now trying to get a win in the semifinal. You were the defending champ. What's going on? Give us a sense of everything tonight.
Well, it was it didn't go well for us. We lost two. We were leading going into the third end both times. Amazing shots. Came down to like the final rocks to steal some points. I thought we'd get to the overtime fourth end, but it seemed like they were always sneaking in another rock, and we didn't need the measuring sticks a few of those times, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it was fun. This event is unbelievable. It's a lot of fun. We got to do some more curling though. I need to sharpen up the skills. I wasn't
like team building curling for the station.
I think
That'd
so.
be fun.
We could do that.
I think we need to do that because this is a great sport. You don't realize, like, it looks so easy. It's one of those sports where you think you can do it, but no. I mean I use the cheater.
Yeah.
to shoot.
I had to put the little plastic thing under my shoe.
Oh yeah. You have to have the sliders, cheaters. I need more groin strength for this sport for sure.
I think you were the unofficial mayor of the Shamrock Curling Club. Outside of Gavin Morton, who's the GM, like everybody's coming and talking to you.
Well, I'm approachable, Tommy. It's pretty easy with these, and everyone's had a few drinks. I'm very approachable after everyone's a little bit inebriated.
Very cool to have you pop by. Very cool to be here on location for this thing. Gager, thank you as always, my friend.
All right, boys. See you in a bit.
All right, there's Joaquin Gage as the Oilers get their 10th straight win. Gager, Mr. Popular here at the Shamrock Curling Club. His team no longer champions as they were ousted by the better teams like the Sheet Disturbers, who I see are just getting set. I think this is the third end. Steve's up, coming out of the hack. They like it. They're not even sweeping. So we're rooting for them. That's my team. And hopefully they make it a perfect 3. And Trev, anything audio, video? Do we need to get to that yet?
Yeah, working on Leon right now.
Right. This text says, watching from San Francisco, these have been mature wins from the whole lineup. Kemp's 2 minutes put us over tonight. Yeah, touche. Trev is way damn louder than everyone else. Maybe just Trev yelling naturally.
Yeah, he's just excited.
He's always excited. Another one says, I think the 84 Oilers took a few nights off here and there.
They probably had some fun. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Another one says, hey, boys, hopefully you don't plan on shutting down the bar tonight. That game was a playoff game. It's amazing to see the Oil dig deep and play straight up hard nose hockey. Stay safe tonight. Mark in the park. Hard nose hockey. They're sticking with it.
Sticking with it. I don't know if I'd call that a hard nose hockey, but a greasy win.
Okay, greasy
win.
The team over patience is a word that's starting to pop up a little bit more with this group. When you think of this team and the word patience, do they go hand in hand now?
Yeah. Well, being down a goal all game, scoring in the third to tie it up, winning in overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, that's patience. That's a patient game.
Yeah.
Now I would say, they still on the power play tried to force it too much.
Absolutely.
And that's the fight against that, because when you're playing patient, you're not trying to force it. You're doing what you need to do. But yeah, I mean, this team has been a much more patient team than they were the first 20 games of the season. Just in that it's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter if it takes 5 minutes. Doesn't matter if it takes 60 minutes. Let's just go win a hockey game.
Right. Maturity. Nice to see. McDavid turned 27, so I think after a few of those harsh lessons, you start to pick things up. Box Pounder says, I think we all agree that Tommy would get smoked by both of them in an arm wrestle. I'm assuming Cass and Gager. Yeah.
Probably.
They're big guys.
Over the top, man.
Yeah, I'm very average at best at everything. How is it if you are the cheater in curling? Because I'm pretty sure he used the cheater in the NHL. That I'm reading that verbatim pretty much. Yeah. But that's from Greg. There's the little cheater thing to slide out of the hack where it just keeps you balanced instead of having the broom. I used the broom. I didn't use the cheater. Gager used the cheater.
Well, he's old.
Yeah, he is old. And he's still nimble.
He's pretty
He
nimble.
he plays goalie.
His
every
hips
now
don't lie though. So
Yeah.
you
Spency 5 cents. He says, who has the most groin strength at EST? Glue Guy Milne? Maybe. I don't know.
no.
Uh,
YouTube Trev,
YouTube
100%.
yeah, he's very nimble.
100%.
Although you haven't met Zach to come, have you?
No, I haven't met Zach to come yet.
He's even younger than Trev.
Just babies.
He's a baby.
Just
yeah.
babies.
Yeah. This one from John says 10 franchise record. Amazing. Bush bomb. Skinner was solid, especially on PK. Big win. And then McDavid's Holy Socks says confidence. Allow them to be patient. They are like last year versus beginning of the year. Last year, they could be down 2 or 3 goals, and they will still stick around because they could come back. Penner's Pancake says the Wild will be sellers. Maroon perfect for a fourth line. I personally, selfishly, completely biased towards Patrick Maroon. I like him even at 35 years old. Penner's Pancakes, I wouldn't say no to that, but I don't know if that's the way the Oilers want to go. What would you say to Pat Maroon?
I think you're looking for center first.
Yeah.
I think you're looking for a center first, ideally.
Yeah.
In that depth spot, is that something I'd be opposed to? Not necessarily. Yeah, guy wins Stanley Cups, multiple Stanley Cups.
Fan favorite for sure. Great guy, and the tugs on the heartstrings a little bit, and so I get it. But yeah, K. Gill says Maroon too slow. Might be the case. All right, Trev, do we have anything?
Yes, sir. Leon Draisaitl is all ready.
All right, let's get to Leon Draisaitl as the Oilers get a 2-1 overtime win over the Montreal Canadiens. 10 straight victories for the Oilers.
They did won a bunch of cups, but you guys just set the longest winning streak in team history. What's that like?
Yeah, it's a great little streak we got going. Obviously, there's a lot of wins in this organization for a long time, so it's kind of hard to believe that they never won 10 games in a row back then, with the teams they had. So, but we'll obviously take it, and something that obviously no one can take from us from now on. But looking to continue that.
This is you're starting your team to play a lot of these games where they're low scoring. You're not necessarily leading the whole game, and you're still somehow winning. This is a trend. Is it a good trend for the?
Yeah, it's a great trend. It shows that we're resilient, and we're sticking with our game plan for 60 minutes. Sometimes it takes longer than 60 minutes, but obviously, we'd like to capitalize on some chances earlier on, and maybe put ourselves in a better spot going into the third. But we gotta find a way to win any type of game.
Leon, all 3 of these road victories for you guys this week were all in one-goal game fashions. How do you describe the effort from this group?
Yeah, resilient. Sticking with it. Very mature hockey. So teams are playing us hard every night, and lots of credit to those teams, but lots of credit to this group. Sorry. To the group in here for battling through it and sticking with it, and eventually getting the wins.
I know collectively you guys are happy with the strides you guys have been making on the defensive side of the puck, but what about the play of your goaltenders this week?
Yeah, amazing. I mean, they made saves at the right times that could have easily have been goals, and you of course need that at times. So they've been amazing all year, really.
You look at the score clock. You have something like 40 shots. You only have 1 goal. Does it frustrations start creeping in, or you get at the point where you think as a team we can overcome it?
That's the maturity level that I was talking about, right? Some nights the puck just doesn't go in. Their goalie was really good tonight. He made a lot of big saves on a lot of our top guys. So stuck with it, and we know that eventually we'll find one or two, and did that tonight.
There's Leon Draisaitl. He used a word there that stood out to me. We kind of looked at each other, and that was
maturity.
Yeah,
mature. Yeah. Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with that patience. I mean, same. I would almost have those at the same.
Yeah,
they're describing the same characteristic,
right,
of a team, in that it's like, well, yeah, okay, well, the puck's not going in. Just keep doing the same thing.
Don't get flustered.
Don't freak out. Don't worry. Yeah.
10 straight wins.
Mm-hmm.
All right, YouTube, Trev, who's next?
Yeah, we have Matthias Ekholm. He was solid tonight. He's been solid all season long. Here he is.
Players players that have come through this organization, all the all-time greats, and this is the club that establishes the new franchise record. What comes to mind?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's this franchise has a rich history, so to be able to do a franchise record is pretty awesome. And this group has worked hard for it. We were close here earlier this year, and even last year. I remember we had a run at it, so it was nice to get it. Obviously, it's more about the wins than the record itself, but it's obviously nice. It's a nice little bonus on top of it.
3 road games this week, 3 one-goal victories for your club this week. How do you describe the effort from the group in here?
Yeah, the whole week has come down to patience. I think we've stuck with it. It's nobody's deviated from the plan. I think we've just been calm within being down and just knowing that we have it in here. We over 60 minutes it usually shows up in the score sheet as well. So I feel like we're taking steps, and I will say not before this week, but earlier it was almost like we were hanging our hat on scoring 6 goals every night, and it's tough to do in this league. So for us to be able to just kind of dig some wins out in a manner like this obviously speaks volumes for us.
When you think back to last year's playoffs, and the thing you've spoken about this a lot, is this the kind of game that you got to learn to win for this team to really win? Is this the game that has to get mastered? The ones you've played this week?
I definitely hope so. I think so. I believe so. I'm a huge believer in that. In the playoffs, it's tough to score 6 goals. You will eventually an odd night, but usually it's these kind of wins where you just grind it a little bit more, and then you win 2-1 or you win 1-0 or you win 3-2, whatever it may be. I feel like this week resembled that a lot, and that's good on us. And give some credit to Stuart too and Calvin. They've been standing in there for us, and they've made some unbelievable saves to help us stay in games, but that's sometimes that's what you need as well. So it's been a complete team effort.
When you moved to Edmonton, you said you're looking forward to it for the weather. Your wife's happy up where it's cold?
Yes.
Minus 40-ish right now?
Yeah, it's a bit rough right now, but it's a week. It'll go over. So we're still really happy where we're at. We really enjoy the snow in the winter, and I haven't had that at least in 10, 12 years. So for that matter, we really enjoy it. We spend a lot of time on the outdoor rink close by. We are out in the snow, and the kids love it. So we really enjoy it.
I wonder if are you watching the scoreboards, watching the standings? Are you looking up? Are you looking down? Are you seeing who's winning and losing?
Not really, to be honest with you. Maybe a little bit. But when you do really bad like we did in the start, you don't want to look at it. And now when you're rolling, you don't want to look at it either. So it's kind of I'll check it every once in a while, but it's not a big deal. You got to get into like March and April before I start looking at it and really take anything from it.
Matthias Ekholm there. Get the little shot in about our weather. Handles it like it's no big thing. That guy's a pro.
Yeah.
He's a pro.
Good interview. Always.
Always a good interview. Well thought out, well spoken. And the weather sucks right now. So bundle up. And if you're driving right now and listening to us, thank you. Stay warm. There was an advisory as well that went out. There might be some blackouts due to the demand on the power grid. Be safe out there. Like, this is extreme. Kaz, I don't remember it ever being like this, to be honest with you. So
It's cold.
Be safe.
It's
bundle
cold.
up. Yep. Be safe. Bundle up. And it doesn't phase Matthias Ekholm whatsoever. All right. We do have a little bit more audio and video to get to, and then we have to get to the player of the game. And then Cass and I will give our final thoughts. We'll update you on how the sheet disturbers are doing. Looks like things are wrapping up. My team is smiling. That might be a good sign. Let's get to Chris Nalbach here.
Consecutive victory. What have you learned most about this group during that stretch?
We just found ways to win games, and whether that's been good goaltending, special teams, power play, penalty kill, third, fourth, first line, everybody's contributed it. So you don't put a streak together with just relying on one line or a few guys. So I'm very happy that we were able to do it. And some high-scoring games, some low-scoring games, but finding ways.
This week in particular, you've won 3 consecutive one-goal hockey games. How do you describe the character and the grit in that dressing room right now?
Well, when you're winning games, you have confidence. You don't have to, doubt yourself and feel that you need to change your game. I think there's been confidence of we'll just stick with it. We'll win a hockey game, and I've been very happy with our guys. We've been doing that, and we've been talking about playing that way for a couple months. And we go back to that game against Winnipeg where we thought we played really well, and we stuck with it, and we ended up getting a break and ended up winning that game. But just stuff like that. And it's not always going to go your way. The other teams are going to have pushes, and we just got to make sure that we stay composed.
Someone's asked you, probably they have. The records that when you're an Edmonton Oiler in 2024 and you're trying to chase a record, some of them are just so unattainable. Like, you're never going to get Gretzky's points. You're probably not winning 5 cups in the next few years. Maybe you will. But to get a record, to do something that group never did, is that, can you put that in perspective?
Yeah, I think when it's all done, maybe we'll sit back and enjoy it a little bit more. I think it feels good right now. I think what feels really good is we're moving up the standings and looking for the playoffs and trying to build for a long, successful playoff season. Right now it feels really good. I think down the road, maybe when the season's done, it'll feel even better that we accomplished something that a lot of good hockey teams didn't do before, but right now, I don't know. I just like our focus on what we need to do tomorrow.
Are you looking at the scoreboards and then seeing who's close by and who's attainable, and are the players focusing on that as well?
We look at the standings, but there's so many games left, and that's one of the things that we talked about when I first got here. Let's not look at the standings, and let's break the season up in small segments, because we look at where we are right now. It looks like it's too unattainable. It's too hard to overcome the hole that we're in, and just take it one game at a time.
10 games at a time look pretty good.
Right now it's looking good. Hopefully it's 11.
All right, that was Chris Nelblock. Looking forward to an 11th straight victory after getting the 10th one tonight. First time the franchise has ever done that. Okay, Cass and I were laughing. We're watching things follow up. Oh, boy. I want to follow up with that guy right there. His name's Javier Strudwick. He would be good to have him on. Let's also follow up with a couple of texts before we get to YouTube. Trev, this one from Ab0 says, no one expected the Oil would survive this far. They are grinding it out and finding ways to win. It's a necessary smile on a cold Edmonton night, from Ab0. And then Kenworth Kelly says, if Clowder didn't have the Montreal flu going into this game, he will definitely have it after the celebrations tonight. And is it just me that thinks Cass looks like Jack Michaels tonight? I love it.
I mean, I have a beard.
I think you're better looking than Jack.
Thank you.
Both very good friends of mine and great colleagues, but God bless Jack. Cass is Cass, man. Cass is a man. All right, YouTube, Trev, let's get to your bit of business, and that is the player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, Damon understands what it takes to make a difference in our cold city. Check him out on DamonBunting.com. Visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Trev.
Right on. Okay, so this is the second time in a row that the Damon Bunting Player of the Game winner has been a defenseman. 2 days ago, it was Darnell Nurse with the OT. Yeah, sorry, 2 days ago, it was Darnell Nurse with the OT winner, and he was a defenseman. And, it was Evan Bouchard tonight with the OT winner. He is your Damon Bunting Player of the Game. He's fourth in league scoring for a defenseman. He's only trailing Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, Noah Dobson, and it's just insane. And I'm going to bring up a stat here. I haven't done this yet, so bear with me. This is a EST first, but you'll see it on the screen right now, and I thought it was worth sharing as per NHL. Most 90-mile-an-hour shots this season in 23-24. Evan Bouchard has 60, and following that, he's almost doubled the opposition with Alex Ovechkin, and this was yesterday. He had, I'm just looking, 6 shots tonight. I think 4 of them were clocked in at 90, so right now he's at 64 mile per hour shots of the season, which is it's just insane. So defensively, we all know at the beginning of the season he kind of struggled, but it was always his offense that was his bread and butter. And I mean, it was on full display tonight with the OT winner. So Evan Bouchard, you absolutely crushed it. It was just insane. This is history, and it was all because of you with that OT winner. Congratulations on the Damon Bunting Player of the Game.
Nicely done, Trev. A big thank you to Gavin Morton. He is the GM over here at the Shamrock Curling Club. Nice enough to let us do the show from here at the Oilers Alumni Bonspiel. Just hooked me up with another 6 o'clocker lager, which they have on tap.
They got to be running out.
He said that they burnt through a couple 20-liter kegs, and they're getting close. I told him that Potts over in Fort Sask started moving to the 50-liter kegs, and apparently it's very popular here. So you nasties out there that are drinking the 6 o'clocker lager responsibly, of course, huge thank you making this thing happen. Cass, it is the Oilers and the Maple Leafs on Tuesday night, trying to get that 11th straight victory, which would be amazing. And my team is in the final. The Sheet Disturbers have done it. They're off to the final at the Oilers Alumni Bonspiel. And it's because I'm good luck. I got 1 point for our team.
Hey, it was a point that made the difference.
It was a point that made the difference. They're off to the final. So Carrie, Michelle, Jamie, and Steve kicking butt. And hopefully, maybe I'm the defending champion next year, having provided absolutely minimal offense. Yes, the belt. Thank you, Gavin. Need more of 6 o'clock or lager to make it up. Okay, the game on Tuesday against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Cass, if they want to make it 11 in the row, what do they have to do?
You got to shut down the high-powered offense that
Okay.
Maple Leafs can push. So you got to play good defense. It's going to be a defense-first type of hockey game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I think you have an opportunity with the Maple Leafs goaltending to pot some. But the trick is going to be that maturity and that patience that Leon Draisaitl was talking about in not trying to force things. You play good defense first. Good defense first, and you'll be all right.
I want to do one thing. Trev, any thoughts going into this Tuesday game against the Maple Leafs? Because I want to do one thing. I want to get one person on here. Trev, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an unbelievable game as we see tonight who they're playing. Lots of top-end talent. Those are the kind of games you get up for. Austin Matthews, we all know what he can bring. He's leading the league in goals this season, so it's going to be unreal. You got the number 1 overall pick in 2015, and following that, 2016, you got Austin Matthews. So these are, they're the best games. I love it, and it all leads to one national anthem we get to hear, which is something that I love. It means puck drop is a lot quicker, so it's going to be a good one. And I mean, I think I can stall this maybe a little bit. Oh no, it looks like we got it. Okay, sweet. Oh, look at that. Strutty enters the chat. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Jason Strutty. How did your
Looking real
team do, Strutty?
Not good. But I saw you sweeping, and it made me feel really good about myself.
You saw me sweeping?
Now, is that what you call sweeping? You got to bend your knees. You got to get involved.
You and Sean Brown all over me about my sweep. My team's going to the final. I don't know how your team's doing.
But without you, yeah, that explains it. I could see why that makes sense.
Hey, he got 1 point.
I got 1 point.
Did you get 1 point?
I did.
Well, good. And you guys are in the final right now?
Yes.
Okay, well, congratulations. And here you are without them.
I'm working.
Yeah, I can see that.
I did what I had to do. Strutty, the Oilers get 10 wins in a row for the first time in franchise history. It's too bad that you weren't a part of the team.
Right.
But you guys were close. I think you guys got like 3 or 4 in a row once or twice.
We won 4 periods in a row one time. That was pretty deep. No, honestly, it was. It's incredible to think that the great teams of the 80s never won 10 in a row.
I know.
And that's not disrespecting them, but you just think, yeah, they probably won 10. And so what an accomplishment, exciting way of doing it. And I love they did it in a low-scoring way. I love the low-scoring games. I've been preaching that for a long time, and now they're doing it low scoring.
Maturity and patience are 2 words that Cass and I have discussed tonight. Are you seeing that from this group now?
Yeah, I think just the patience is the big one. Just understand you don't have to win the game every shift. There's some shifts that'll be low event, and that's okay. You just keep waiting for your chances. And I think that's, to use a word, the maturity that they didn't have last year in the playoffs.
Right.
Think about against Vegas. They try to get it, but it's okay to go into the third period 0-0, 1-1, and then you're going to find a way to win it, as they did tonight. Now, a little bit later than they probably wanted to, but still, that ability to just wait for it to happen and not forcing something that's not there is such a step forward for the group.
Anything for Strutty?
No, I think he summed it up pretty nicely there.
He did.
I stole your words, Cass.
Yeah,
You're eloquent.
I'm not
Eloquent,
original.
beautiful.
Strutty, really quickly, this event, my first time being here,
Right.
It's awesome. Good vibes. Everyone's in a good mood. And what can you say about this Oilers alumni bonspiel?
Well, was it clear that it was your first time? No, I'm not. I'm trying to be nice. You got to probably practice a little bit more. Hey, Cass, the big.
Yeah, you could use a couple rounds.
Oh, geez,
maybe some
like,
coaching.
Never seen a broom in your hand before. Obviously, I know it's a lot of fun, and I love the people. Gavin's a great host here.
Yes.
Ice was a little bit sticky for my appeal.
He says the ice was sticky.
I don't want it. I don't tell him I said that.
Oh, okay.
I found it a little bit sticky. I don't want to make a big deal of it, but it was a lot of fun.
You hurt his feelings.
I know. I'm not invited back.
Struddy, you're always invited on here with us. Always a pleasure. I know Rashog's probably watching, being like, "Get off of there!
Right.
Get off of there!"
Right? Yeah, he's very understanding.
Well, he does morning mandate on Mondays with us.
Yeah. What's he complaining about?
No complaints. Struddy, great to have you on. Always
Thanks,
a pleasure, buddy.
See you guys later.
Good to see you. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate
Bye-bye.
it, buddy. There you go, Jason Strudwick, the one and only, the guy from Battle of the Blades. That's where I know him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
famous.
All right, that's gonna wrap things up. Let's see any other texts that we want to get to here. Gav, do you want to come say hi to everybody? Just really quickly, let's get Gavin Morton here from the Shamrock Curling Club. Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, it's on. Go ahead.
Thank you guys for being here so much. I really appreciate.
There you are. Say hi to
I'm
everybody.
on TV. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being here. This has been a lot of fun.
Love it.
Really happy that we have you here. The 6 o'clocker lager on tap all day, every day. Come down to the Shamrock Curling Club.
Absolutely.
Great vibes.
Absolutely.
And you guys are just beauties. Absolutely.
Likewise.
Beauties.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Gav, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
I love you guys. Love you guys.
There you go. That's Gavin Morton.
Yeah,
Give me one of them.
face for radio is right.
Yeah.
Oh my.
You know what? That's what my wife tells me all the time. All the time. So welcome to the club.
Gav, thank you so much. That's Gavin Morton from the Shamrock Curling Club. Huge thank you to him and his team, his lovely wife, Angela, Quinn Phillips helping out behind the bar. Great vibe here tonight. Cass, fantastic work as always, my friend.
Absolutely.
And let's see if we have any text to wrap things up. Nasty chat, I feel like you guys are talking. Oh, here we go. This one says, "Hey, Cass, out of all the alumni, who would win a single elimination leg
wrestling showdown?"
Yeah.
Ooh, Louis DeBrusque would be up there.
Ooh.
Big George probably up there too.
He's a huge
No, you
human.
know what? No question. No question. Steve McIntyre.
Oh, well, these are monster human beings, and you're a monster. You're a big dude, and those guys are giants, man. Good point.
No,
Mac,
Stevie Mac, 100%.
Steve is a great guy,
Yep.
super nice, big teddy bear for sure. The Liquid Beaver says it's called a crutch, not a cheater. That's what they were calling it, the cheater. I don't.
crutch,
Yeah,
eh?
you
Same
lean
thing.
on it. Yeah. Now this one from Hontorio Momes. Edmonton now projected to finish second in Pacific with remaining games and strength of schedule. That is expletive wild from the start that they had. You know what, Hontorio Momes? I think you get the final word tonight. Cass, great to see you back on location.
Yeah, good to be
in
back.
person. Fantastic stuff as always, and your voice is coming around really nicely.
It's getting there.
You're getting
It's getting there. I'm
healthy.
laying off the smokes. Yeah.
Let's go have a dart right now. I'm just kidding. Don't smoke, kids. Trev, great work as well, holding things down. We'll get this board figured out. I blame myself if there were little audio discrepancies. I think I'm figuring out this board. I had never really used it. I've used it once before, but I think we had a good show. Trev, anything from you?
No, this was a solid night. A lot of people were saying that this was the best post game in the EST era to date. So that was awesome. The numbers were great. The chat was just buzzing throughout the whole night. And as far as the audio levels go, they were pretty consistent. So I don't know. A lot of people in the chat were saying no, it sounds good. So, but it's interesting how that works. But from my end, I like the levels a lot. It was a solid night. This was great. I'm happy you guys had fun. It looks like the Nasty chat had fun. So. Let's leave it at that, boys, and we'll see you soon.
I love it. Well said, Trev. All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream post-game show. The Oilers, 10 straight victories for the first time in franchise history. Evan Bouchard gets the winner in OT 2-1 over the Montreal Canadiens. You got Connor McDavid on his 27th birthday, fourth, all alone in Oilers all-time points on the march to third for sure. Forecast for Trev. I'm Tom saying stay warm out there, get home safe, have a 6 o'clocker lager responsibly. We will talk to you on Tuesday.